Let's get to emotional abuse, because that's hard to define. Emotional abuse is a very tricky area to explain. So you have, like, for example, if your partner constantly belittles you, right, making you feel that you're a bad parent, saying you're ugly, saying you're useless, you don't care, say stuff like you don't care about
most Punjabi husbands, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But like, you don't care about me, you don't love me.
Stop shaking the fucking camera, man.
Yeah, camera.
I'm actually gonna beat you, I swear. Stop doing it.
Why
Stop
is he shaking the camera?
Because he's moving. When he moves, he knocks the table like a clumsy little shit.
No, Karaman, you know what I was actually trying to do? I'm so glad Indy fell for it. I just wanted to show the level of abuse I can get Indy to. Small trigger there.
Fuck off,
Small trigger.
Fuck off, man.
This got married,
you,
bro,
what did you say? What did you say, Karaman? You want evidence? I got it on camera. What did he say?
Verbal abuse there.
Right. Karaman, I want you to represent me in the court of law. This guy always abusing me, see?
Yeah, go on,
exactly.
Off you go.
Stop verbally abusing. But as I was saying, like, it's stuff like you're putting you down constantly, and it's not one day. This is regular. It could be constant. It could be it could be from putting your appearance, your ability, and you start lacking confidence in yourself. Emotional abuse is it grows. It starts
small.
You start thinking about, actually, I am actually incompetent. You start believing it, and that's what gaslighting kind of is. Gaslighting,
and
is
you can see that in workplaces as well. When you have a bad manager and they like pull you up on bad shit, but never praise you for good shit. That starts messing with your head, and you start thinking like every step you do is inadequate. Everything you do is wrong.
And gaslighting is kind of where you're making you believe things but they're not true. So I say the grass is blue, and I keep saying it to you every single day, you're probably going to believe it one day. So gaslighting is a very prominent thing. It was always putting the blame on the other person. It's like saying to the victim, "You're making me angry. That's why I'm abusing you."
So to be clear, gaslighting is when you're creating a false narrative and you make the other person buy into the false narrative, and then they start following it through. Right?
Yeah. In essence, and sometimes what they do is they make the victim believe they're mentally unstable. They make them question themselves. They make them start thinking they're the reason why there's a problem in the relationship, even if actually from the third person, the abuser is the problem. You know what I mean? So victims when they're on the phone, they start really believing in this narrative, that they have to dress in a certain way. They can't see their friends. They can't do this. They're creating problems. They're maybe not looking after the children well enough. So emotional abuse is hands down it's pretty much in many where there's domestic abuse, there's always emotional abuse, and that veers into verbal abuse. Is obviously your bog standard swear words, but people think it's not serious. But when you're calling your partner a bitch or a slag or a whore or cunt, every single day, or when you're angry, you're putting them down. You know what I mean? That's an abuse.
What's the comparative most commonly used male swear words?
Bastard. See the C word again, dickhead.
Has to be the C word.
I mean, the C word is very popular in this country in a relationship.
Yeah, it is. It's really popular in relationships, but also in friendship chats.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those things where verbal abuse is it seems a small thing, but then you actually deep it. If you're called a C word all the time, you're like, what the hell did I do so wrong? Why am I called a bastard? Why am I called for a female? Calling a female a slag is a serious thing, because it builds in their head that they're doing something wrong. Like, there's nothing wrong, but that is a popular word. So you got to keep an eye for that. It's not a small thing, and it comes down. It goes into the verbal aspect, threatening behavior. So verbally threatening. So I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna end this relationship. I'm gonna divorce you. Threatening, but threatening of violence, and then threatening in general. That's all. It all collates. These are all verbals. You haven't even touched. Think about it, all this stuff I've talked now. I haven't even touched. They haven't even touched the victim. Not even a punch has gone in their face. Not slap, not strangle. But I'm telling you right now, this is going to be surprising. Victims find this stuff more harder than violence. They'd rather be hit in the face than being controlled. This is generally what they say to me all the time, and I've always figured out why. Because when you're being beaten up, that's more physically a risk to you, but they prefer, okay, at least I'm not controlled. I can go outside the house. All right, I'll take a slap, but then at least I can go out. You know what I mean? The controlling behavior is the hardest bit for someone to endure. This drives a victim to suicide. It can drive them to having a mental health illness, depression, anxiety. So yeah, those are like, these are kind of the things that happen from that side. What are your thoughts on that, guys? Because
I mean, shit, that's The thing is, right, when you swear at someone all the time,
Mm.
I can see why it does that. But if you say, like, if in the moment you swear at someone when you're in a heated argument and it's like a one-off thing, is that just straight tick abuse? Or is that, okay, you were in the heat of the moment, you had an argument and that's it? And then I'm sure people, when they're blaming their abuser for stuff like this, they were like, oh, it was a heat of the moment, it's done. I didn't mean it.
I think...
see how it can get a bit like,
It's time, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
exactly. You call me a dickhead once. You know, I'm not going to say that's abuse.
Yeah.
If you keep doing it, then that's a different thing. I get kind of involved and
See what I
get
mean?
you off the podcast. Do you know what I mean?
exactly,
That's a different thing.
bro.
But still, I presume it's still time, man. Like a one-off,
Yeah.
an anomaly is not gonna equate
No.
to this is abuse.
But you got to be careful. If I hit you once, then that's still different.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You
no.
gotta
Yeah,
be
that's
mindful.
different.
But
Yeah,
verbal abuse,
yeah.
yeah. If it's, you know what I mean, you wouldn't call your partner a slag, would you? You know, your female partner, exactly. From
No.
this sense, because we're all geek guys here. But you won't, like, those words shouldn't come in your mouth, no matter what. You know, whether you shouldn't call them a bitch, you shouldn't call them a slag, you shouldn't call them a whore. C word shouldn't be used. You know, these
Yeah,
things you got to
yeah.
be, you know, I mean, it depends what your nature of your relationship. If you're used to swearing at each other and that's your banter, then fair enough. But this is in a sense that, you know, if the other partner doesn't like it and they just call them that again and again,